And I'm actually joined right now by the odds maker for this sports book here, Jimmy Vaccaro. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Now, Jimmy, can you actually make that bet right now? Could you walk up to the window and place those odds?
Well, you could go up there and you could try to make that bet, but you won't get it because it's illegal. It's a federal law. We can't book elections. It's kind of a sad situation because we could book a lot of money on it. But to answer your question, no betting. Entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only, but we've seen now for entertainment purposes only, not just bets on who's going to win the election, which is that one right over my shoulder, but also a lot of bets on the debate tonight. We'll get into that in a second. First, just explain to me, can you bet on the election anywhere else in the world? Because I feel like I see odds on it all the time online.
How about everywhere else in the world except the United States? They are much more concerned about our presidency as we are to ask about theirs. I don't think anybody cares about who's the president or a Super Bowl Sunday to them.
For our election.
For our election. They book so much money, it's insane. We are the only place you can't bet it.
And so take me then behind these odds here. I mean, you set these odds here?
Yes.
Explain what these odds are telling me right here.
Well, currently what you're seeing is like over the last few months, it's surely, without being a politician here, that Mr. Trump has stepped into a few potholes. Where something was about even way back in July, right after his convention, he obviously gained a lot of strength. But from that point till now, he's said some things that obviously have hurt him. And so what you're seeing now is like Hillary is a 6-to-1 favorite, meaning if you're betting at a legal book around the world, you'd have to lay at least $6 to win $1 on Hillary. She's that big of a favorite. And it's just like booking a football or a baseball game. You change daily, weekly power rating, and naturally when it was good, his odds were lower. When he made some mistakes, the odds go up.
So he's much bigger long shot now. And of course, the polls are telling us a very similar thing right now, Jimmy. We see Hillary Clinton with anywhere from a 4-point lead in the polls to a 12-point lead in the polls. When you take a look at those polls, is that sort of what's informing your odds here?
That's exactly what it is. It's no different. Like a lot of people ask, well, Jimmy, how can you make odds on this? It's not that hard. It really isn't. And actually now we're in the 9th inning. So he'd better pull a few rabbits out of his hat tonight or he's going to be in trouble. But remember, in the business that I'm in, nothing is an absolute. So don't consider it done, but he has a long fight ahead of him.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because there is a sports book in Ireland, Paddy Power,
Correct.
I'm sure you've heard of it, who's already paying out Hillary Clinton win bets. If you bet that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election, they're going to pay you your money. Why would they do that right now?
Well, they think that Hillary's going to win, and they're trying to save some money. In other words, they're having an insurance bet right now. Let's say you had $500 coming after you bet on Hillary a few months ago. Well, they're telling you right now, we'll pay you $250 like you win, but the other ticket now is no good. It's just simply a form of insurance. They think that Hillary is going to win. And this happened 4 years ago, too, with Barack Obama. When he had such a big late, they were just paying off insurance. Now, we couldn't even do that if we wanted to over here.
Now, can you draw a sports metaphor for me here? I mean, what have you seen a bigger comeback right now than what Donald Trump would have to pull off? And what are those teams? What was that money?
Oh, very simple. I was the only bookmaker in the world way back when who put odds up on Tyson versus Buster Douglas. I opened Tyson a 27-to-1 favorite. Thousands of dollars poured in on Mike Tyson. The odds went up to 42-to-1. And after all that money, all you got back if you bet Tyson was a receipt. So that was a big upset, too. So like I said, anything can happen. Nothing is absolute, so we put it in the machine.
Now, let's talk about the debate tonight, then, because that right there over my shoulder that's showing Hillary Clinton as that favorite, that's to win the election. But to win the debate, have you seen any sort of bets or odds floating around that give you an idea for what people are even betting on?
Yeah, I talk to the people at Paddy Power on not a regular basis, but a semi-regular basis, and we've conversed over the past year. They're very into it, and they can book all these what you would call prop bets, which just is a short meaning for proposition bets.
Because again, they're based overseas.
Exactly.
It's illegal here, but it's legal in Ireland.
Is Hillary going to wear a pantsuit? Is Donald going to say more than 5 times, I'm going to make America great? Is Hillary going to say more than 3.5 times, a comprehensive debate we're going to get into? All those things. Will he interrupt her? Will she interrupt him? And the biggest one is I'm sure they're getting all the money bet on 2 ways here. Will they shake hands? To me, They should just put him in a boxing ring and see what happens from there.
I was going to say, the Super Bowl, the big bet always seems to end up being not only who will win, what's the over-under on point, but just the coin flip, because it's such a simple thing to start out the game when the interest is so high, and you're saying that's the handshake bet right now.
That's the handshake. We have odds on the Super Bowl already on a few of those prop bets. You can bet heads or tails right now, 9 months before they play in the Super Bowl. Remember, Super Bowl Sunday, we have at least 300 proposition bets on that game alone. But here it is. We can't have one with the election.
Do you know where the good money is right now on handshaking? Will they, won't they? Do you know what the odds are?
The odds, I think it's 3-1 they will have a handshake, but I'd like to have them both plugged into a lie detector on whether they really mean this handshake or not, but I believe they will handshake. I'd bet that if it was a low price.
Well, and I think we've actually seen bets floating around now on whether they'll use the word liar as well. So there's literally, it's an endless possibility of things you could bet on with this debate.
Well, obviously, I'm sure you're going to hear crook a couple times also, and whatever it is, this guy, he's on his last leg here. It's going to be unbelievable one way or the other what he does tonight. Will he play it calm, cool, and collected? Well, he hasn't in the past, and I think the strength of her is like keeping her mouth shut and go from here. I would suggest to her, like after the debate tonight, go watch Turner Classic Movies for the next 2 weeks, not even to show up anywhere. I don't think it matters. Here's the real reason I don't think it matters. I believe with the people that I've spoken to that come to our sportsbook on a regular basis for the past year and a half, 95% of those people have it in their mind already who they're going to bet on. I think it's down to it's just a fight for some life here, but he's got a big uphill battle. If
you're just joining us right now, I'm here with Jimmy Vaccaro. He is the odds maker at the South Point Sportsbook here in Las Vegas. And they always say in sports, some of the smartest guys in the room that really know what's going on day to day are the odds makers. So yes. I guess now Hillary Clinton could take some advice from you. Let me ask you, though, about the larger idea of betting on elections, though, because, I mean, there's got to be reasons that people don't do it. Mm-hmm. I know you would stand to make a lot of money if they allowed it, right. But you were telling me earlier that people have come up to you very enraged over the idea of betting or even laying odds on these matchups.
Well, way back when, my friend, when we first put up just who's going to be the nominee for both sides, and our marketing department sent it out to people all over the country. Immediately, we got calls back. Immediately, from that Saturday and Sunday, especially when tourists were in town, they used to rush to the counter or look for me because they thought you could bet on the election. They were downhearted when they found out they couldn't. So here it is again. We let everybody in the country know that this is happening, but it's not going to happen until the antiquated people in Congress, my age, I hate to say that, are gone and the newer generation come in. I think by that time you'll be able to do it, but that's a minimum of 10 years away.
People would say, of course, that you could be influencing the election or things shady could happening, especially in down ballot races for mayor, for city councilman or something. Does that argument resonate with you?
No, it's absolutely a falsehood, especially in the major election. What are you going to do? What are you going to tell someone before they walk in the voting booth and say, here's $100, go bet on Hillary? Well, they'll take your 100 and go in and come out and say, yeah, I bet on Hillary, but you don't know where or who they bet on. I think it's crazy, it's insane, but it's sticking in the minds of the antiquated people who make the laws.
All right. Well, how do you think the odds are going to shake out from here between now and November 8th? Are we going to see some more fluctuations?
No, I don't think you'll see anything. You might see a little bit tonight one way or the other, but other than that, what's Trump left to? He's going to be on the road every day trying to push it, but I don't think, barring a major upset or I hate to say this, the FBI coming down and handing Hillary a subpoena to appear somewhere.
And you guys had a line at one point on whether she would be indicted.
Correct. And I put it up, no, she wouldn't be indicted, a 3-1 favorite. And you know what, young man, and this was, I hate to say this about our country, but when we put that prop up on our betting sheet, a lot of people came up and said, you know what they said? They said, Jimmy, she should be indicted, but she won't be. And I believe them.
Well, so there you go. All right. Well, so that is the sort of language that we're talking here in Las Vegas this week. Not just about polls and pundits, but about, hard, actual cash. Well, not hard, actual cash here in the U.S., but somewhere else in the world, there's real cash being spent on this election. Jimmy Vaccaro, thank you so much for joining us. I'll give you one more look at this, at the odds right here. As you see, Hillary Clinton, 6-1 favorite. And that's it from me. We will be with you all day and throughout the evening with live coverage of tonight's presidential debate. Until then, I'm ABC's Brad Milkey.